If you're struggling with self-concept work, you don't know how it works at all or how to practice it, let me put you on a game. Because yesterday I had this insight as to how I'm using it personally, and I wanted to share it with you because I'm sure you guys are going to find it very useful. So before approaching people, that's how I use it. In my imagination, I create an identity from which I'm going to act. Before, let's say, approaching a person, I will think how I will behave. I will create an identity in my head that they are going to perceive. Then I'm going to act from that identity. So whenever you start talking with people, don't just talk, because their energies can affect the current self-concept if you did not create one in your head before approaching them. I know it sounds weird, but bear with me. Let's say that you just go and talk to people you haven't talked to in a long time, but they have the old perception of you, but you are not that person anymore. If you're not aware of this particular thing happening, that people relate to old versions of us that they created in their heads, and when we come in contact with them, their behavior and the way they treat us tell us they're still relating to us in an old way, but we're not that person anymore, right? And then it can piss you off internally in terms of you will adopt it, the projection of their perception of you. You will start acting from that perception if you are not conscious. I've done it. Before approaching people, before starting a conversation, I want you to start thinking about the identity that you want to portray and act, behave from her, talk from her, from that version of you. Because if you're not careful, people will box you in pretty fast. And that's what they love to do. That's one of my favorite things to think about, honestly, about how, perceptions of ourselves are being created by other people and how they project it onto us. And it's fucking real. So here's my solution. Is to create an identity before talking to people, because they're going to create it for you. They've done it to me. I did not like how it felt, but it's never late. You can create a new identity right now and convince them that the way they perceive you is wrong, because you're not going to react to it, because you're not going to go with that shit. You know what I mean? So create an identity and act from her. How do you want to be seen? If you don't create the version of you, right, from which you want to act and the way you want to be perceived, then people will quickly box you in. And it's no fucking joke. This is how it works, okay? So start creating an identity before doing anything. If you need to do or talk to anyone, you don't want to be perceived from the old version of you. Maybe you don't like that you're perceived this way. Change it. Don't go with people's shit, like the way they relate to you. Do not relate to yourself this way. That is a free will, okay? Free will is when people treat you in whatever way they want, but you're not going to react. So that's the free will. But if you don't believe in free will, then you're gonna go with their shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, hopefully it makes sense. Love ya. And follow for more.